Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for the week of July 28th. This week, before I start reading, I always kind of like get in the zone for a second. And so, for whatever reason, I feel really good about the 28th specifically for you, Pisces. And so, I don't know if something good is happening on the 28th or what, but something good could be happening on the 28th, literally. You have this creating and writing card and this creative power card. There you go. It's an amazing time for creativity for you, Pisces. I've said this to you in the past. Pluto and Aquarius. It's your 12th house, but I think that people forget that the 12th house can have to do with creativity. It's like information that you're downloading from source. The other thing is that things should be easy, right? What the hell am I talking about? It's like, I think that people think like, to make a bunch of money, I have to do something hard, or I have to do something that's going to take a bunch of time, or I have to do something that's going to be, difficult or whatever. But it doesn't, but that's not necessarily true. It's like, I've heard stories before of people who have, created like things and really it came to them in a split second, whatever it is, right? And I don't even know what I'm trying to say here, but it's like there's something about that I think you need to believe, maybe as far as creativity is concerned, or especially if you're working on something creative, this is something that you should be focusing on, right? And so definitely something I would think about with this energy. Number 2, you got to stop worrying, Pisces. Like, I know it's hard because I'm a Pisces and I worry all the time as well. So even though I know that I shouldn't, right? But, one thing that, I think I said this to you, one thing that I've been spending like the last solid month or a little bit longer doing is like really thinking about my thoughts. Like whenever I have a thought that goes towards worry, I correct it and I go in the other direction. I do like all the typical stuff. Like I look for 10 things to be grateful for. I just correct the thought sometimes, right? Like if I have a negative thought or something that has to do with worry, I just use my brain to think about something else and I just make it go in the other direction, right? And so I don't know why, but I do think this is very important for Pisces right now. Like the whole, kind of like correcting your thoughts and making sure that you don't go down those negative, rabbit holes, right? And making sure that you keep it positive. You start here in your first row for your current general energies with the Hangman, the Nine of Swords, and the Seven of Cups. Again, Hangman is you, so whenever you show up as yourself, it really puts you in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want from the reading, which is great. I feel that, again, I said it to you, I think, last week or whatever, that Uranus and Gemini is really going to be good for Pisces, I think, for seeing other, like, different perspectives on just everything, really. Gemini is, your 4th house for most of you. Now, you're going to have to look at your chart and see where it is, but because it's different for all of you depending when you're born. But we're just, for argument's sake, we're going to say it's your 4th house. And even if it isn't, it still is Pisces' 4th house. So there you go. But it's going to affect your home and things like that. But the 4th house also has to do with all energy you surround yourself with. And that's what's popping into my head, is that there are just some changes coming to the energy that surrounds you. And I feel like this is good. I also feel like you could be rejecting some things like very, very quickly here in your life, like certain energies that you don't want in your life, certain things that you don't want. And I would just pay attention to that with the Hangman. With the Nine of Swords, I definitely feel like this is just worry for whatever. I think you have the Seven of Cups here, which is just overthinking. And I think that something, like you have to stop overthinking something or stop thinking about something or whatever, right? Whatever I just said at the beginning of the reading. So Nine of Swords is like a round type energy. Now, the good news is that you have the Ten of Swords, and you might be thinking like, oh, Ten of Swords is terrible, but really it's not. Personally, I think the Ten of Swords is a blessing in disguise. Like, yeah, sure, it can be uncomfortable sometimes to experience the Ten of Swords, but usually it brings something to an end. And the Nine of Swords is definitely something that has to end. Nine of Swords is just round and round, worrying. I don't think this is about anything, Pisces. Well, what I think this is about, and I say I think because I don't actually feel this intuitively, but I kind of have a hunch here that the Nine of Swords is talking about the future in general. Like your life in the future. I really don't feel it's talking about like one thing or the other, right? I feel this is a bunch of things. And so, again, I feel that correcting your thoughts is going to be the thing that gets you out of this energy the fastest. You have the Seven of Cups. Again, a lot of thoughts. Seven of Cups can be spoiled for choice. Personally, I like the Seven of Cups. He is spoiled for choice. I always say that it's like a good card, but, at the same time, he needs to take action. He spent enough time thinking about these cups. Now he has to bring one of those cups, or he needs to bring something down to earth, right? He's dreaming about something, but until he brings that down to earth, he's not going to actually know, like, what is going to happen in his life, so he has to actually do it. And that's kind of what I feel for you with that Seven of Cups. Like, it's time to bring something down to earth, right? With the Hangman, you have the King of Pentacles. It's like, I do think also that just based off the astrology that Pisces should be careful of comfort. Again, I'm pretty sure I said this to you recently. It's not that comfort is a bad thing, right? There's nothing wrong with being comfortable. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, getting stuck in comfort zones is the problem, right? And so it doesn't say that you shouldn't be comfortable, but it does say, the King of Pentacles always says to me that it's like worth it to challenge yourself. And again, we're not talking about, doing something crazy or losing your mind or anything like that. We're talking about small little opportunities to grow in whatever area of your life you want to grow in. King of Pentacles is great for money, and you have the 10 of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles. Really good week for money, it looks like. With the 9 of Swords, you have 2 cards. You have the 6 of Pentacles and the Devil. Of course you do. I have a feeling that everyone is going to get the Devil. There's definitely some devil-ish going on in the world. And so, I don't know what it is, but whatever. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. I think Uranus in Gemini is going to shock us all. There will probably be truths coming out, left and right. If celebrities finally admit that they eat babies, I wouldn't be surprised, because obviously that is probably the truth. So, all that stuff is probably going to come out, right? Wouldn't surprise me. 6 of Pentacles says, like, what do you feed, right? I'm pretty sure I said this to you recently as well, maybe back in July, we're still in July, but, like at the beginning, or maybe it was the end of June. I said something about you being careful of, like, the thoughts and the feelings that you feed. 6 of Pentacles. He has a choice. He can give to this person or this person. Obviously, I would feed the things that lead to the biggest results in your life, and there you go. Something definitely needs to end. Something toxic. Again, I don't even think this is one thing. I think this is like a mindset, or it's like a big thing. But it's like, I think it's coming up in this reading because it's almost like you're getting the chance to finally, like, completely cut this mindset out of your life, or this maybe you've had a habit of thinking negatively about a certain thing in your life, right? And it's going to be different for all of you, but it seems to me like you're finally getting the opportunity to make the clean cut, and that's going to be important. With the 7 of Cups, you have the 4 Wands. You're setting yourself free. 4 Wands, sure, it could be marriage. And sure, there is a little bit of love here, Pisces. You have the 2 of Cups, but that's really it. But again, you absolutely, it seems to be a good time for love for you anyway. But, really, the 4 of Wands is a card of setting yourself free. These people, you have to cross through this finish line to get to the other side. I really feel you need to ask yourself ridiculous questions. Again, like, I think this is a great game for Pisces to play. Like, what if I could make $1 million a year and not work? I don't know. I'm sure there's someone that does it, right? What if I could only spend 1 hour a day on my business and make $1 million a year? What if I could find the perfect person for me in love? Like, I really feel playing that game would be good for you, because you never know what might come up. You just might discover a way to get pretty close, right, with the 4 Wands. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, can't make this one up. You have this Body and Soul card. Yes, I mean, that's basically what I've been saying, is that you need to, I think that a lot of you are kind of like looking at your connection between your mind and it's maybe body and soul isn't the right word, but it's like you're looking at the connection between your mind and your reality with this reading, is what it's saying to me. And, this seems to be a theme for you right now, which is good. You have this Earth Magic card. It is an excellent time for you to ground things in reality. The Earth Magic card is basically just grounding something in reality, and that's exactly what I would do with this card, so there you go. You have the 3 of Swords, the 10 of Swords, and the 9 of Pentacles. 3 of Swords can represent forgiveness and healing. I think you need to forgive yourself, number one, for, like, things that you missed out on, especially if you're having thoughts about the past, like, but we're talking about, like, the type of thought, like, I wish I knew this back in the past. You know, like, I wish I knew then what I know now type of energy. That's the type of energy I'm getting here. It's like, well, you didn't, and you do now, so, you know, change your circumstances now. Three of Swords is a card of forgiveness, though, so, you know, we can forgive the past. We can forgive anything with the Three of Swords. Those swords are in our heart. I always say we don't have to forgive a person, a place, or a thing directly. We just have to forgive the situation in our heart, and then we will move forward with this card, and that's what I would do. You have the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords says something is dead, done, over with. I think you're seeing that something being dead, done, over with is a blessing in disguise. You know, again, I don't really feel this is one thing, though. This is very big picture reading, I feel, intuitively. It's more talking about, like, several aspects of your life that you could be releasing. You could be kind of like shedding your skin in some ways, which you probably have been doing for years now, transforming. And there just could be little, like, you know, there's 10 swords. These could be like 10 little things that you're releasing or you're letting go of in your life. And I feel you could be seeing that it's a blessing. This could be 10 different worries that you are releasing at this time. And you could be seeing how it's a blessing to release those things that you are worrying about that you don't need to worry about. So, you know, again, I really don't think this is talking about something specific. I feel it's talking about many things that you are letting go of. And you know, in many different aspects of your life. And again, I think you're doing this mentally. The first row feels very mental to me, which I think is great for you right now. Again, Gemini energy is very mental, you know, and we have Uranus there. Uranus is a higher octave of Mercury. Mercury is retrograde right now. It's like just putting all the pieces of the puzzle together for you, Pisces. I think it's a good time for mental work, right? And this is going to affect, you know, the other thing to think about is that Mercury's retrograde in Leo, and the Sun is entering into Leo. Well, actually, the Sun has entered into Leo, sorry. And so, you know, at the time that this video is published. And, you know, again, I think for Pisces, it's like Leo, you know, it's probably your 7th house. Again, depending on when you were born, you're going to have to look at your own chart. People keep correcting me, and I'm like, no, you need to look at your own chart. Plus, I'm speaking to a billion Pisces. So, yes, I am going to say that is Pisces' 7th house, right, for the most part. And just like astrologers do. I don't know why all of a sudden this is an issue. But anyway, rant over. What I would say is, I think for you, Pisces, 7th house is the house of your relationships, but it is your relationship to all people. So, you know, I think a lot of this 7th house stuff could be how you are projected out into the world, is what I'm trying to say here. And, you know, again, I think a lot of you are working on like how you appear. You have the star at the end. The star is you being a star. You have the Knight of Pentacles. Amazing. I feel you're making your own decisions, which is like a lifelong lesson that Pisces always has to learn, that they have to make up their own minds. They can't let other people make up their minds for them. And, you know, that's really it. So I think a lot of you could be kind of like being very independent at this time. I do feel a lot of you are focused on financial security. And so which again makes sense. I think that this will only increase as we move forward. Again, Neptune is going to retrograde back into the end of Pisces. Neptune in Pisces rules anything that flows. You are a Pisces. So I feel that for you, you know, and also really, you know, personally, I think Jupiter is Pisces' ruling planet. Jupiter was the ancient ruler of Pisces. I think it's still the ruler of Pisces. Every Pisces chart, and I've looked at a million of them that I have looked at, I can tell that Jupiter definitely rules their chart, right? Not Neptune. But Neptune is considered your modern day ruler, right? And we have Jupiter in Cancer, and we have Neptune is going to retrograde back into the end of Pisces this year. The reason I think this is important is, number one, is that Neptune in Pisces rules anything that flows. We call it currency. So as a Pisces, with this happening in your sign, with Jupiter in Cancer, it's like I think that you are going to be feeling a lot more like you want to create a lot more, or it's like you want to have a lot more security in your finances, right? And I feel a lot of you could be thinking about that, like how you can create more security with your finances, or how you can just have more security with your finances. It's probably going to be a major focus for you, I would say. With the Three of Swords, you have the Magician here. You know, this is probably why you have to get your vibration right at this time, or your mindset right. The Magician is a card manifestation, but it's like, you know, obviously if you don't have a positive mindset, you're going to have a hard time manifesting, right? He's also pointing towards a new opportunity, Ace of Pentacles. I don't know, Pisces. I think there's like a major opportunity coming in for you in the near future. And I'm not trying to be clickbaity here, but you know, I would definitely pay attention to any big opportunities. Now, the thing about the Ace of Pentacles is a little scary. And also, sometimes we have to change with the magician. And that can be like the challenge, right? The magician, he has the snake here, and the snake is the Ouroboros, which represents reinvention. We're in the year of the snake right now, 2025, right? And so, I think it's no mistake that this stuff is coming up, And I think that, the snake is basically saying, like, yeah, there could be an opportunity that you have attracted into your life with the magician here, pointing towards the Ace of Pentacles. But it might require you to change. It might require you to move or travel, or it might. But I think it's more personal. It's like going to require a different mindset, right? So don't be afraid to change. With the Ten of Swords, you have the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, I think maybe anything that makes you feel left out in the cold is what you need to release. Five of Pentacles, very easy solution. It says, do not call attention to your weaknesses. Focus on your strengths. And if you do that, you will be successful. With the Nine of Pentacles, you have the Two of Swords. Yeah, it's almost like you just need to make the choice to be in the Nine of Pentacles energy, to be abundant, to be successful. I also do feel like there's something you're not seeing here. She has her blindfold on. Blindfolds in the tarot say she really needs to trust her intuition. She needs to listen to that inner voice more. And, Pisces is very intuitive, but I guess maybe sometimes we don't really listen. And so I would make sure that you are listening to your inner guidance system with that card. Next, in the area of your messages from your future self, you have this Authority card. Yes, it says law and order, rule, structure, and rigidity. You have this Marriage. It says commitment, union, and integration. Definitely could be love coming in for you. The Authority card is you becoming an authority. I say it all the time, that Pisces is one of the leaders of the future. So, but really, all you have to do is take authority over your own life, and then everything else will fall into place. You have the Ace of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Two of Cups. Again, I feel like there's some sort of big opportunity that you have attracted coming in for you. Ace of Pentacles is usually, can be a little bit scary because it's usually like an opportunity that just has potential. Potential means nothing. So, it's like sometimes with the Ace of Pentacles, it's like an opportunity where it's like, yeah, we can see that maybe it could be good, but we're not sure. And I feel like the Ace of Pentacles is saying, embrace the potential that something has, because if you put the work in, you will be very successful. I also do feel this could be a love offer that has, something that has a lot of potential. You have the Ten of Pentacles. Amazing. Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire, Pisces. So definitely could be, it's like you're doing something that is greatly going to increase your finances or lead to financial security. And I love that. I think it's good. I think correcting those negative thoughts that say that you can't do it or you can't have it is exactly what you need to do with this card. The Ten of Pentacles is something that you will work on forever. So, it's building, leaving a legacy. Ten of Pentacles, is something that takes time, and I feel that you will be taking time to do it. It's also the best love card in the deck. It is a Pentacle card, but like I said, it's everything you want and desire. So with the Two of Cups right here, there definitely could be a strong connection. Now, I feel you're going to have to let go of your fears around love for sure, like right here, all this. So, if you have any fears or worries or limiting beliefs around love, if you want love in the first place, then I feel that letting those things go is going to be important. Two of Cups usually starts as communication. So, this definitely could be a person that you just start talking to, and then it kind of goes from there. Could be a person that's different than your usual type. I'm hearing, like, different taste, which is funny. Maybe that's something that stands out to you. It's like maybe their, like, design aesthetic in life is, like, different than what you're into, right? I don't know. It's popping into my head. Like, maybe that's something you notice, but, it doesn't have to be that big of a deal, right? With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Ten of Swords. Yes, this opportunity is going to be a blessing in disguise, I feel. But you also, I think you have to completely let go of things from the past so that you can't get this new opportunity with the Ace of Pentacles. With the Ten of Pentacles, here you go. You have the Wheel of Fortune. Definitely a change in your fortunes. This could be a rapid change that's coming in for you as well, Pisces. Usually, the Wheel of Fortune is kind of quick. It can be a card of something happening pretty quickly or happening fast in your life. So there could be some sort of rapid change here. But I definitely feel there's, a change in your fortunes, which is great. With the Two of Cups, you have the Ace of Wands. Yes, I think there will be a lot of passion here, of course. I think it's time for Pisces to get into a passion, something, that is passionate, that they really care about, and all that other stuff. As I've said before, I think Pisces has had a difficult time in love for many years, just based off your astrology. So, it wouldn't surprise me if you attracted something like really solid, that is entering into your life. Now, one thing I will say is that you have that creating and writing card, and you also have that raw card. Sorry, it says creative power. The Ace of Wands is definitely creativity. So any inspirations that you are receiving literally could be success, a major success. Now the thing is that the Two of Cups is you and your higher self. I'm telling you right now, there is something about this reading. It's like I think you need to not discount something that comes to you quickly. It's like sometimes, like, again, it's hard for me to explain, but it's like I think sometimes people do, for example, make a ton of money very quickly. It's like I said, I've heard stories of people who have like written famous songs before, and it's like they say that it came to them in an instant, just flew out of them all of a sudden, right? And again, I'm not trying to be clickbaity or anything, but this reading is kind of giving me those vibes. It's kind of like saying to me that something, an inspiration could come to you very quickly this week, and you're gonna need to jump on it. And I would do it, and don't discount it because it came in quickly, right? It's almost like you need to believe that that is possible for you as well. It's like you need to believe that good things can happen quickly. It's like if you believe it, it'll happen. So there you go. At the end here for the good stuff, you have this Phoenix Rising card. It says, you've been through the fire. Definitely. Ten of Swords twice. Rising up anew and embracing life in a deeper way. Love it. You have this Dolphin Spirit says, stop taking life so seriously and splash some joy in your everyday life. Yes. I definitely feel Pisces needs to be more playful, needs to focus more on enjoyment and, good things and happiness and, all that other stuff. So that's definitely what I would focus on there. You have the Nine of Wands, the Star, and the Six of Pentacles. Nine of Wands in the good stuff says that you are not giving up. Just in the good stuff, it can say that, number one, you're putting up appropriate boundaries in your life. Number two, it can just say, like I said, that you are not giving up on something that you've been trying to accomplish for a long time. So, yeah, I feel pretty good about this in general. I feel a lot of you could just be, it's like you're not giving up. I have nothing else to add to that card. You have the Star. The Star can represent hope, faith, renewal, blessings coming in for you. So I would take time to do this, number one. Like, I do feel it would be a good week for you to, rest, relax, recover. It's Mercury retrograde, so, of course, it would be a good time for you to do that. I also feel that it would be a good time for you to ask for something and make it easy. Like, don't tell, if you want something to be easy, I feel the whole entire reading is saying allow it to be easy. And don't make it overcomplicated. If someone has done something, you can do it. This right here, she's pouring this water onto the earth from the pool of universal consciousness. It literally represents what's possible for one person is possible for everyone. So, it's like if someone has done something that you want to do easily, then do it. The other thing is, I do think some of you are getting ready to make a difficult decision where you could be completely cutting something off and diving into the pool here. Sometimes I feel the Star card is basically saying you need to not just dip your toes in the water. You need to, cannonball into the deep end, right? You need to, you can't be split between two things. Let's say you have a new business idea and you have an old business. Sometimes I feel the Star says you need to completely immerse yourself in something and make it a part of you. That's how you're going to make it successful. And, that's what I would do with that card. You have the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles, equal give and take. Six of Pentacles is also like planting seeds. We already said it with the Six of Pentacles that you had in the first row, that it seems to me like you're, coming up in the good stuff. I feel this is saying you are feeding the right side of yourself, or you are feeding the right things. And I really feel that's what this card is saying. It's not really saying much to me other than that you need to be aware of where you are putting your energy. If you put it in good things, obviously, good things will happen. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Page of Cups, love. There definitely could be love coming in for you at this time. I do think it's a good time for you for love, like I've said a million times before, but you have to be open to it. Nine of Wands would say you're open to it. I'm not saying you're going to be in a relationship this week, but, definitely you could be talking to a person, or it's like you could finally see the opportunity or something like that. With the Eight of Swords, with the Star, you have the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is about setting yourself free, obviously coming up in the good stuff. So wherever you have been stuck, I feel you're setting yourself free right here. Nine of Swords. So this stuff is actually pretty good. I'd say you're setting yourself free from a mental prison, or you're setting yourself free from a belief prison, that has maybe been keeping you stuck. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Judgment card. Again, you have this Phoenix Rising. I mean, if there was a Phoenix Rising card in the tarot, it would pretty much either be Judgment or Death, right? And so definitely could be some sort of transformation. It's like, but you're finally getting answers here. It's like maybe this reading is saying you finally know what to do this week. So, for those of you that have been hoping for a breakthrough or have been hoping to gain a new understanding on life or, something that you need to do, it's like you could finally be gaining that understanding, which is great. You have this empathy card. I think you need to love yourself enough to believe that you deserve good things, right? Plain and simple. I think this is about having empathy for yourself. That's it. Pisces has enough empathy for other people. I think this is saying you need to care about yourself more. You have this ostentation card. This card is going to keep coming up. This is the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, by the way. And I have a feeling this card is going to come up if over the next 20 years. We are in a time of truth. So this card basically says you can tell the difference between what's real and what's fake. So, trust what you see, Pisces. You have this Optimism card. Yeah, I think there's like a million reasons here to be optimistic about the future, and that's what I would choose. Choose optimism and not fear or worry about the future. The first, basically 2 rows, kind of are saying that you're worrying too much, to me, at least to me as a reader. So I think that you need to, which, again, Pisces is a worrier, and I'm a worrier, I get it, right? But I've been, over the past couple months, I've been really working on this, and I think you should too. Just work on focusing on the positive, right? You have this detachment card. Detaching from outcome. I think we all need to do that as well because, Two of Swords, right? Things are probably not going to work how we think, but that doesn't mean it's not working. It just means we have to try. We just have to keep trying other ways of doing things. So detaching from outcome is probably a pretty good idea. Love it. You have this Enterprise card. Yeah, money looks amazing here. If you're getting any new ideas financially or money-wise, definitely very positive financial reading. But this looks pretty good, Pisces. I like it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.